Did you know that you can access most of Elden Ring's map without fighting a single boss? Well, today I'm going to show you how. I'm Cohesive Key, welcome back to my channel. The map of Elden Ring is enormous, and it can be a little intimidating to a beginner. However, even a beginner can access more than 50% of the map without fighting a single boss, and I'm going to show you how today. As a warning, this video contains minor location spoilers, but no story elements. I'll show you how I navigate the map, where to find all of the map fragments, and I'll also show you a couple of shortcuts that will help you get to places easier or faster than you otherwise would. Now let's get started. The first place that we're going to have to go is to the Gatefront Ruins. This is because we have to meet the NPC Melina, who gives us the summon for the spectral steed, Torrent. Torrent will make navigating the map much easier and faster than you could ever do on foot.
Turning route to 80. You need only take me to the foot of... Then it said summon me. I bequeath.
You can just skip through this stuff. It's not important. Now, the first map fragment is very close by, but you are going to have to maybe fight some of these guys. I suppose you can just run right past them if you want. However, you should know at some point we have to farm about 1,000 runes in order to access a shortcut in the future. I'll show you a couple spots that are good for this in the meantime. So here's the first map fragment. This is the location on the map. And after we get that first fragment, we're just going to keep right on going to the location of the first shortcut. And while you're riding along, you may just want to light all of these bonfires. Oh, excuse me. Sites of Grace on your way. Make sure to touch Grace. Alright. So this is the Third Church of America. This is the location of the first shortcut. We're not going to use it yet, though. We're going to come back here later. Now we're going to be heading to the second map fragment of Limgrave. As you can see, it's at this location. Next thing we're doing is we're going to Fort Height. Fort Height is the location of half of the Dectus Medallion, which will allow us to use the Dectus lift in the future. Just scramble on up this ladder. You can ignore all the enemies, or you can try to beat them all if you are so inclined. So in this chest is where you'll find the left half of the Dectus Medallion. And then you can just piss off back to a Site of Grace if you want. The Bloody Knight did kill me, so rather than be embarrassed, I just cut that portion out. Next, we're going to head off to the Weeping Peninsula and obtain its only map fragment. Alright, so here's Limgrave Map Fragment number 3. Yeah, and best not to stick around and enjoy the view. Okay, next up, we're going to go back to the Third Church of America and use the shortcut that I told you about earlier. It is extremely easy to find. It's just in this swampy area behind some trees. The shortcut will transport you to the most distant portion of the region called Caelid, called Grail's Dragon Barrow. You're definitely going to want to light this Site of Grace, because this is a high level area and you will die super easily. Keep in mind though that dying doesn't really matter at this point. We're just trying to access the map. We can always respawn. This is a good opportunity to do some farming. These enemies go down pretty easily, and well, better just ignore that. Moving right along. The point I was trying to make there is that those guys have pretty limited poise, and they usually go down pretty easily. It is a good opportunity for farming if you want to. Next thing we're going to do is make our way into Caelid further. And we're going to go across this bridge. But, that is one shady looking character. I don't like the look of him. We're going to take a different way. In general, this way is much easier. However, keep an eye out on this bridge. If it's nighttime, it spawns a very tough boss. Ignore the living tree stump and go to the spirit spring behind him. And what we're arriving to right here is called Fort Faroth, and it's the location of the other half of the Dectus Medallion. Here's the location on the map. Now when you're running through here, just ignore all the enemies and go as fast as you can before you get hit by the poison cloud. Make your way up the ladder, much like you did at the other fort, and you will be greatly rewarded by another mundane-looking chest. And inside is the right half of the Dectus Medallion. Just pop on down here, and you'll be able to make your way out of the fort. No harm, no foul. Alright, now that we have both sides of the Dectus Medallion, it's going to form a full medallion. And that in turn is going to allow us to ride up the Dectus lift in the future. For now, let's just get out of here and find the next map fragment. But first, who is this?
Hello there.
Ooh! Okay, not friendly, so just get out of here and we'll find the next map fragment. And here it is. Here's the location on the map. Now we still have one more location in Caelid to get a map fragment from, and we're going to head over there right now. But first we might stop and get some provisions.
Yes, right this way. Right this way.
Alright, this guy is suspect. No way we're buying anything from this guy. Now I'm just making my way around the periphery of the swamp, trying to avoid some of the stronger enemies, and then we'll find the final map fragment for Caelid. It's right here at this location. Alright, so we found all the map fragments for both Limgrave and Caelid now. It's opened up all the map. We're going to warp back to Limgrave, and then make our way over to Liurnia. It's not immediately obvious, but there's a little passage here and a little bridge which will lead you past Stormvale Castle and into Liurnia. And here we are. Now we'll start making our way to the first map fragment, but before we do, let's just appreciate that view for a second. FromSoft really made something special here. I just never get sick of exploring this world. Proceeding, we're going to head downwards in that way. Light a few bonfires. Oh, excuse me, Grace is on the way. And then we'll find the first Liurnia Map fragment here. That is if I can avoid being killed by these Wraith Callers. And I'll show you the map location while I'm getting the hell out of there. The next thing we need to do is we need to locate an NPC for a very specific quest. And that's going to help us with a shortcut.
Hello? Please.
So this is Raya.
Over here.
And she has severe scoliosis, as you can see. Yeah, she definitely needs the attention of a chiropractor, I think.
But could I ask you lend a hand? Perhaps. That fog may made off with a precious necklace. I need
Oh
someone
no,
to
not your
retrieve it.
necklace.
Only he too is tarnished.
Oh, and let me guess.
If you've
You
any
want me to get it
qualms
for you.
confronting your own, I shall find another.
No, no need for that. I'll get it for you.
What a blessing that the thug should please. The thug should be resting, please.
And I thought FromSoft was beyond fetch quests. We're gonna go find this cabin in the woods, where this NPC is located. And this is the reason why we were trying to save up 1,000 runes. If you ask him for the necklace, he'll give it up pretty easily, but he wants 1,000 runes for it.
You're a shrewd one. First.
Doesn't matter how you get those runes, just figure it out. Just give me the money!
All right.
I didn't know it at the time, but that man was the rightful king of France.
Come crying to me later.
Well, now that the man in the iron mask has given us the necklace, we can head on back to Raya. And sweet Raya will be just so thrilled with the return of her necklace that she's going to give us an item that will allow us to skip to one of the legacy dungeons at a certain point. And old Raya likes to talk, so I think we're just going to skip through this stuff.
Did I forget to announce? I seek store. You are very brave to steady hold such strategies. Take this.
And here's the important part, the Volcano Manor invitation. Once we're all done with the Liurnia Map Fragments, we can find Raya in the next region of the map and continue her quest further. Next up, we're going to find the second map fragment for Liurnia. It's right here on your map. Then you're going to head northwest around the big building to find the next map fragment. If you're interested in going inside of that castle at any point, we can pick up this little item on the way past this dragon. Now that's really going to piss him off. It turns out it's his favorite key. But we can just run away from him. Check to make sure he's not following us, and be right on our way. Here we're going to find the third map fragment of Liurnia. This is the location on the map. To the north there, you'll see a large estate. You can go in there if you want to, but you'll have to fight a lot of tough enemies to get through it. I wouldn't suggest it at this point. Now, as a note, this is one of the entrances to the Academy of Raya Lucaria. There's another entrance further south, and you can access both of them by using that key that we stole from the dragon. And this is it, the Grand Lift of Dectus. This is going to allow us to access the Altus Plateau. And let's just watch this cutscene in all of its beautiful glory. Beautiful. UA Bull would be proud. Alright, so now we've arrived at the Altus Plateau, and we can meet up with Raya to continue her quest. Now she should be right here. What the hell? Well, this is embarrassing. Oh yeah, I remember. In order for her to transport here after you first meet her, you have to rest at a site of grace. Now we head on back and... Eureka! Here she is. Now, completing this part of Raya's quest will grant us a shortcut to Mount Gelmir.
I've been waiting for you.
Now, once again, Raya likes to talk a lot, so just humor her for a second, and she'll take you on the shortcut that we've been waiting for. And I just wanted to let you guys know, if you can't stand the sound of Raya's voice, you can get to Mount Gelmir without this shortcut, but it just makes it a lot faster. And here we are in the Volcano Manor. pretty chill place with the low lighting and the nice fire. Once you've lit this grace, I'm going to show you a location right here and make a note of it, because we're going to be seeing it again when we come here from a different direction. Yes, there's more than one way to get to Mount Gelmir. But right now, warp back to the Altus Plateau, site of grace, and I'll show you how to find the first Altus Plateau map fragment. First of all, you're just going to follow this road to the north. You can stay on the side of the road to avoid most of the enemies. And feel free to stop at this tree to grab the golden seed. Here is the Altus Plateau map fragment. And here's the location on the map. Now for the second Altus Plateau map fragment, we're going to head north towards those very intimidating gates. Now going right through the front door is not an option. But if you're sneaky, you can get right past these tree sentinels without aggroing them. Heh, the perfect crime. And these guys are none the wiser. Just proceed down this path, light the site of grace, and then here's the second map fragment location. And here's the location on the map. This map fragment opens up the remainder of the Altus Plateau. You can explore all of this area, except for the capital Leyndell, which requires defeating at least 2 main bosses, so I haven't included it in this guide. Now I'm going to show you the alternative path to Mount Gelmir, which I personally think is better, as you get to explore and unlock more of the map, instead of just taking the shortcut and skipping it all. Just breeze right past this boss and avoid the tibial summons. And here we are at the entrance to Mount Gelmir. Now as we're going through this section of the video, you can see that we're breezing past a lot of stuff in Mount Gelmir. And you're more than welcome to explore it, however it's very likely that you'll die at this low of a level. However, this is the reason I made the video, to show you how open the map can be even at a very low level. Now this guy scared the shit out of me, so just ignore my panic rolls there. And I'm just checking to make sure he didn't follow me upwards. As you can see, as we're making our way through Mount Gelmir, we're passing lots of beautiful, desolate battlefields, mangled corpses and the such. Just a lovely place to vacation. Alright, we're going to take the Spirit Spring up here, and oh no! Is that a boss? Why, yes it is, and I told you didn't have to fight any bosses. Well, no need to worry. You can just skip this one. You can ignore him completely. And remember that spot I told you to remember? Well, here it is right here. That's that nice rocky outcropping that I showed you earlier. And if you look down there, you can see the entrance to the Volcano Manor, where I was looking up here before. Everything has come full circle. Now right down here is the only map fragment in Mount Gelmir. Here it is on the map. Now just for the sake of completeness, I'm going to take you the rest of the way through the map of Mount Gelmir to show you how to get to the bottom and back into the Altus Plateau, passing more gorgeous scenery and a truly horrific visage right there. Alright, now off in the distance, you can see Altus Plateau where we came from. This is a different region further to the northeast, which I'll show you on the map. Now if I zoom out, you'll see how much of the map we've unlocked so far. More than 50% of it, as promised. But we're not done yet. That's right, this isn't even my final form. Okay, but all silliness aside, I still need to show you how to access the underground rivers. We'll start by warping back to Fort Height, and I'll show you how to access the Siofra River well. Alright, so here's the location of the Siofra River well. and it's going to take us underground. Strap in for a long ride. Okay, we're at the bottom of the well. And now we'll make our way over to the Siofra River proper. Right here is the location of the only map fragment for the Siofra River. Here's the location on the map. And this is one of my favorite locations in the game, so I just like to sit here and appreciate it. And after a quick nap, we are back to work. Up here in the distance is another elevator that we can take. Oh no! I forgot the keys on the counter. Story of my life, right? In any case, if you do have the stone sword keys necessary to use this lift, it will take you up to a part of Caelid that you otherwise couldn't access. For the final map fragment, we're going to teleport back to Liurnia. Specifically this location next to the Academy Gate Town. If you have other locations that are unlocked, you're certainly welcome to use those, but this is the only one I had unlocked at the time. Activate this site of grace right here.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Now unfortunately we can't get into the other well without defeating this enemy. And I know I told you, you don't have to fight any bosses. And I meant it. He's not a boss. Oh, now don't give me that look. Now in all seriousness, this is the only enemy in the whole guide that you have to defeat, and it's not that hard. Now that we've defeated this golem, the doors to the Ainsel River well will open, and you can make your way down. The Ainsel River is the second underground region that you can access. But it's not the last one. However, it is the last one you can access without defeating any bosses. Now when you get into this room, you're just going to want to rush to the side of grace over here, ignoring anything else. There's a very tough enemy hanging from the ceiling there, which you may have spotted. And there he is right there. He will shoot meteor projectiles at you. So best to just stay in cover as much as possible. And here's the last map fragment of this guide, the Ainsel River Map Fragment. Here's its location on the map. And with that, we've reached the end of the guide. We've unlocked all of the map fragments that we can without defeating any bosses. And I'll just show you another view of the map in a second. Now the beauty of this is that you can explore all of this area that you've unlocked, finding more powerful weapons, armor, upgrade materials, and leveling up your character to become stronger. You have access to all of this space and environment to grind out some levels, practice, and obtain the finesse needed to defeat some of these god-tier bosses in Elden Ring. And this is where I'll leave you relaxing at the fire. If you found this useful, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you again in the future. Have a great day.